So now I've looked in my rear view mirror and it looks safe.
After
Looking
300
in my right
yards,
door mirror again
turn
and I'm
right,
going over the line.
Broadgate Lane.
Looking in my left door mirror, coming back into the lane again. So I'm in the centre of my lane, I'm travelling at 25, 26 miles an hour. It's reasonable for where I am. The car in front of me is braking. I can see the lorry. I'm looking in my left door mirror, move a little bit more to the left to give him a bit more room. Look back in my right door mirror to make sure it's safe. This is my left, this is my right. So I'm checking my mirrors, signal right. Now I'm looking out for buses coming down this road. I'm going to reduce my speed, get to my reference point of stopping, and I'm looking at the van that's reversing onto the main road from the side road. I'm also watching out for cars over here on this road shooting off the roundabout. But this is the van I was telling you about that was reversing onto the main road. So I'm watching him. He's going to come down this road, I assume. So I'm looking in my mirrors and I'll just slow down a little, see what he's kind of doing, kind of work out he's going into that road. So now my sat nav is telling me at some point in 3/4 of a mile I'm going to be turning left. So I'm going over the line. My speed reading, I'm doing 20 at the moment. Now the speed limit is actually 30. My car's telling me it's 2020. So what I'm doing, I'm aware that the camera on my car is inaccurate. It's picking up on a side street. Now all new cars have this active technology, so make sure you know what the speed limit is of your road. So now I'm going to do a park up on the right. Typically this is where you would be doing it. So I'm looking at the van behind me, check my inside mirror, my right door mirror, signal right. I can see it safe in front of me, looking at my blind spot, slowly guide the car to the right. Going to get close to the curb. I'm going to stop just before this, just after this drop curb, just before this drain on the floor. Come off my gas, come to a stop here. So when you stop, the examiner is going to say to you, okay, and reverse 2 spaces and stay close to the curb. So now I'm looking, there's nobody coming, there's a car coming on my left at the bottom of the road, but there's nobody coming ahead of me. You can hear my signal on. I'm going to keep it on so the car on my left knows what I'm doing. I'm looking in my door mirror and I can see I'm this far from the curb. I need to maintain it. Now if I steer to the left this way, it means the back of my car is going to go that way and I'm going to go onto the curb. If I steer that way, the front of my car is going to come out and I'm going to be in oncoming car path. So I need to make sure that I'm reasonably close to the curb, and if I do need to steer, I'll steer in small little turns. So I'll put my right signal. I can see a car coming up the road. Now the argument is, the car that's coming up the road, do I move or do I wait? Now why would I carry on? Because the road's big enough for 2 cars. And if the road is very narrow, if there's parked cars on either side, then you'd have to stop. So like now there's a car coming down the road, I'm not going to move. Now seeing the car, there it is. I saw the car in front of the 3 cars, I saw the lights. So now I'm going to go in reverse and I can see the red car coming up the road. Now I'm going to not come off my brake completely and I've turned my steering wheel ever so slightly. Now I can see that car coming up the road, but it's perfectly safe for me to continue. Now I'm looking around, I can see 2 cars coming up the road and I'm reasonably close to the curb. Now how do I know I'm reasonably close to the curb? I'm using my door handle in relation to the end of the curb as a reference. If the door handle and the curb, if there's a gap between them, it's telling me that I'm moving too far. It means I'm moving away. For example, now let's say I'm too far from the curb or too close to the curb, and let's say for example now I am very close. If I want to come away from the curb, I just need to steer a millimeter to the left and slowly go back, then straighten my steering wheel, and that will slowly bring me away from the curb. So now I'm going to stop. That's reasonable, 2 car spaces. 2 car spaces is approximately, let's say, about 5 seconds of reversing at walking pace. So now put the car back into drive. I'm looking around, there's nothing coming. I'm going to signal left. I'm looking at my blind spot. I'm going to move off. I can see a white car starting to come up the road. I can see the bus. Look into my blind spot again. I come onto my side of the road as soon as I possibly can. Adjust my speed for the road that I'm on. I can see the speed limit now going into 20. I'm doing 25 at the moment. I'm adjusting my speed and now I'm doing 20. Just check my mirrors, make sure it's safe, and it is. And that sign there is a happy face. It's telling me the speed that I'm travelling at. not the speed that I should be travelling on or at. It's not showing me, and that sign there is a happy face. It's telling me the speed that I'm travelling at, not the speed that I should be travelling on or at. It's not showing me the maximum speed. The maximum speed is beneath the sign. It's 20. I'm currently doing 18. So I'm going over the line. Why am I going over the line? I need to. Now I can see the learner car coming down the road. I look in my mirror, come back to my side. Now this car's poking out slightly, so I'm going to slow down a little so this car can go past me and I can continue. Look in my right door mirror and it's still safe. Now I'm looking at the person in orange on the right hand side. Now I can see the man walking down the road in a blue coat. I can see the white car coming down the road as well. I can see the grey car coming down the road. I can see the man crossing the road and the white van. So constantly I'm looking for any danger. I can see the white car coming down the road as well. I can see the grey car coming down the road. I can see the man crossing the road and the white van. So constantly I'm looking for any danger as I'm approaching, as I'm travelling along this road. And that's
At the end of the road, turn left, Church Avenue.
And that's my early warning system that I'm developing. So I'm looking at the end of the road, so if there's anything going wrong, I'm aware earlier. So at the end of this road, I'm going to turn left. So I look at my sat nav again, and yes, I am turning. So I check my mirrors, inside and left, signal
Turn left.
Now, I'm going to position the best I can, but I'm not going to get too close to the curb. I'm looking in my right door mirror, that gentleman there is turning right. So I need to stay on my side of the road. I'm looking at the lights, they're green, this car's coming. I'm looking again, there's nothing coming. I'm going to gently continue. So now I'm looking at my sat-nav. As I come onto the new road, the sat-nav needs a second to recalibrate itself to work out where it's actually travelled onto. So now it's come onto the new road, which is Church Avenue. I'm now looking at my sat-nav and it's telling me in half a mile I'll be turning right. And it's showing me Broadway, which is the name of the road, and the A6120. Now that's the ring road, so that's a very busy road. So it means it's more than likely going to be a dual carriageway, possibly a higher speed limit. Now had a black car coming into its box and he's made his turn. You need to be aware of that if you've got FCA, forward collision assist, installed in your car. Especially if you're in Bradford or if you're in Hare Hills. So I'm following the road round. The speed limit on this road is 30. I'm currently doing 28. I'm looking in my mirrors. I'm reasonably in the centre of my lane. Now I'm closer to the left because the road widens up. Now this is a one-way road. Now this car is positioned incorrectly. Is she? No, she's not. She's going ahead. Well, that's a new one. Then I'm looking in my right door mirror and the car on my right is also turning right. So just kind of, sometimes we do get it wrong. You know, sometimes, now this lady's waiting here at the crossing, so I'll gently come to a stop.
At the end of the road, turn right, A6120,
Okay,
Broadway.
So now it's telling me at the end of this road I'm going to turn right. Now you can see where the van is at the moment, and you can see the cars, and you can see the very narrow lanes. Now I've got a wide car, what some people may call an SUV. It's actually just a small Nissan Juke size car. So I've got to be aware that my presence is slightly larger than the average car. So I'm looking at my right door mirror, I'm going to get very close to this line. So I'm the same size as this grey car in front of us. So I check my mirrors here. Now I don't need a signal, it's a bit far from the junction, but if I signal, people know that I'm in the right hand side lane and I'm turning right. So I'm going to stay as close as I possibly can to this line. How do I know? I look in my right door mirror, so I'm reacting to seeing the line. And then as I'm moving forward, this right hand side pillar, I am making sure
turn right, A6120, Broadway.
It's just left of that line. That's telling me that I'm very close to this line. I'm looking in my left door mirror, there's nobody there. So I know that most people are turning right here. Some people are intimidated by large vehicles and obviously they don't want to damage your car. So now I'm looking at these traffic lights and I'm turning right here. So I'm looking, the lights are changing colour, so I'm ready to go. And I'm looking across the road just to see what's going on there, because that's where I'm travelling and that's why there's an ambulance coming. And that's why he moved off and he braked very hard. And that's not normal braking hard, so I needed to know why. I come to a stop behind this car. So I'm looking now, and it's not that busy today, so I'm not too worried about traffic. But I'm looking around, I'm looking in my mirrors, I'm looking for cyclists, motorcyclists, Uber Eats, the little mopeds, electric bikes, e-scooters, anything really. And plus it's a holiday, could be children with their parents, it could be, you know, people with prams. So I'm looking out for anything that could affect the way I'm driving, that could affect where I'm going. Now that green light has come on, so it's a filtered right turn. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep in the right hand side lane and not move into the left. Usually you'd move into the left, but if I keep here, if anyone's turning left, they can turn and I'm not holding traffic up, because on my sat nav it's telling me I'm going to go ahead, so I wouldn't have to do what the white car's doing. So now my lane merges with the lane on the left, so I check my mirrors, signal left, looking at my blind spot, there's nothing there. Obviously this is my left, this is my right. The reason I'm saying that is because this second camera I think has I'll have to flip the
After
image.
200 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit, A65, New Road side.
So at the roundabout, now this is controlled by traffic lights. So if your light is green, they will stop moving.
Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
So I've looked in my mirrors, signal left. Now because my light's green, theirs is red. As long as it's not an emergency vehicle, I can continue if it's safe. And it is, I just look again while I'm moving. So once I've straightened up on the sat nav, just gonna let this person make his right turn. So look in my mirrors again. Once you come onto your new road, just wait a second for the sat nav to recalibrate itself. So let the triangle center itself or straighten itself up onto its new road. So now I'm looking at the sat nav and it's telling me in 2.5 miles I'll be turning. So every time I come onto the new road, I read the sat nav again. I keep reading it so I'm completely aware of what's going on. So on this road, where this JCB, where this tractor is, this is a busy bus route. You'll find large double-decker buses coming up this road. Now this is Horsforth, and it's, you know, it's new roadside, so it's a very busy road, and it's very compact. Now while you're driving this car, you could have a show me tell me question while you're driving. One could be, how would you open one of the door windows? Well, if you don't know how to open one of the door windows while you're driving this car, you need to. So it's one of the reasons why I make you drive the car and perhaps turn the stereo on, turn the heating on, etc. So the speed that I'm travelling at now is 27 miles an hour, which is very reasonable for where I am. Anything, now that's one of the buses that's coming up the road now. So I look in my left door mirror, move a little bit more to the left, and you'll feel that I haven't really adjusted the car and it moved across. So now I'm doing 29 miles an hour, which is pretty reasonable for a 30 road. So in 2 miles I'll be turning left. So I can see the speed limit changing the distance. It's telling me it's going to go into 40. I'm still doing 29 yet. So I'm looking in my rear view mirror, looking in all my door mirrors, and now looking in my rear view mirror, and I very gently start adjusting the speed. So I'm increasing my speed. I'm increasing it to about 38, 39. Currently doing 37. Now 38. Now I can see the traffic lights are green. More than likely they will go red, so I'm a little careful. So I'm looking in my rear view mirror and my door mirror, there's nothing coming, just in case I've got to hit my brakes. I'm doing 37. And now it would be too late to stop. And now I'm going to slow the car down. Nothing behind me, I've checked. And I'll come to a gentle stop here. Now these lights, they very rarely change colour. Excuse me. The only time they change colour if anyone is coming from the train station. So while you're approaching, just have a quick glance. If you can see a car waiting there, these lights will change colour. Very rare any other reason. So I'm looking in my mirrors, nothing coming. Now the speed limit of this road is currently 40 miles an hour. Looking in my mirrors, it looks safe. Gently increase my speed. 35, 36, 39, 40. If you want, you can actually stick your cruise control on, like I have now. You can use it while you're driving. If you're comfortable using it, use it. So I've set it at 40 and I'm just driving the car. Now while you're driving these new cars, especially electric cars, new cars, what you'll find is the steering wheel gently pushing against your hands. And that's your lane keep technology, that noise that you can hear now. So that's slowly pushing you back into your lane. Now I use a lot of cruise control when I'm driving the car, especially when I'm going over 30. It makes life so much easier. It's eco driving, so you're not unnecessarily burning fuel, and it's safer. My car also has adaptive cruise control. That means it will slow down if the car in front of you slows down. It will also increase its speed to keep up with traffic, but it won't go over the speed that you set. So like now, my speed is set at 40, but the car in front is doing 33. My car is speed up to 40 as long as there's no car in front. The only thing you have to remember is you've turned cruise control on. You must turn it off when you don't need it, otherwise you'll end up breaking the speed limit if you go onto a 30 road. So like now, we're travelling at 30, I just turn it off. It's not necessary. So now as I'm travelling along this road, I'm doing 28 miles an hour on a 40 road. But there's a lot of traffic.
After 800 yards, turn left, B6157, Kirkstall Lane.
There's a lot of traffic here. And now I'm looking in my left door mirror, because that sign on the left is telling me my lane narrows. So I'm looking, because that's a bus lane that comes from there. Also the speed limit is 30. I'm doing 30 anyway, so I'm not worried. I'm now looking at my sat nav and it's telling me in 440 yards I will be turning left. That's at the traffic lights. So I'm looking, how do I know it's traffic lights? I can see the junction.
After 300 yards,
you need
turn
to
left,
be able to
B6157, Kirkstall Lane, then take the third left.
You need to be able to read sat nav to pass a driving test, to be fair. So practice on your Google your Google Maps, Apple Maps and TomTom. So I'm turning
Turn
left, check my mirrors, signal
then
left.
take the third left.
Now you'll also notice a cycle lane here. So what I do is I look in my mirrors again, look in my left blind spot, and I try and avoid blocking their lane, and I come to a stop. I do not go over the white line. So I haven't gone over the white line, I've kept the junction open and I've come to a stop. Yes, I forgot, or it must have cancelled. But check my mirrors, put it back on. So even if you forget to cancel, stick it back on. You're a human being, you'll make mistakes. We all do. So when I'm turning left here, I'm reading the sat nav, it's telling me I'm turning left and then third left or something, can't remember. So I'm not too worried about that at the moment. So once I turn left, I'll deal with it. So I'm looking, there's nothing that I don't need to know about. Then as I straighten up onto the new road, I'm looking at the sat nav and it's telling me I'm going to be turning left soon again. And it looks like it's going to be at them traffic lights.
After 100 yards, turn left, Forest Lane.
Check my mirrors, signal left. And I'm going to stop just before the first line.
Turn left.
Going to come to a stop here. So when people say, oh, automatic cars don't roll backwards, that's a lie. Automatic cars can roll backwards. Quite easy to prove. There. I'll just move forward. There. Look, it's rolling backwards. Why is it rolling backwards? Because automatic cars can roll backwards. Any car can. If you're not going to keep your foot on the brake, it's going to roll backwards. It's a machine. It's 1.5 tons. What I do is I press auto hold. The light comes on, it's green, and I come off the brake. The car won't move. When I want it to move, I touch the gas and I can move forward. So now they've got, and I follow the road round. I'm looking at the bus that's parked and the taxi driver that's stopped on the bus stop. I'm looking at my sat nav. It's telling me at the roundabout I'm going to go ahead. So I'm looking here, there's nothing untoward apart from a Range Rover. Now the speed limit here is 20 at the moment. I can see the sign on the right. Usually they're in your line of sight, so you should see them in a straight line. If you can't see speed limit signs and street lights are evenly spaced apart and it's a built up area, the speed limit would be 30. So now I can see the speed limit, it's going to change. It's going to go back into a 30. And now I'll carry on. Now we can see these lines over here, it's telling us the end of their junction is there. So that's where they meet us, so be careful, cars may look like they're in the middle of the junction. They're not, it's where they stop. So it's where they get optimal view. So make sure you understand that when you're in this area. This road isn't too bad. It's fairly reasonably busy, but it's wide. You can anticipate majority of times where the cars are going. So I'm watching Taximan because I always watch Taximen because I don't trust anybody but myself. And I'm looking behind me. I'm watching the van that's going to go around the car with the hazard lights on. So perhaps they may have broken down. Now the car obstruction's on that side, so it's priority to people on this side. We have no obstruction. So I'm looking at the sat nav, and the sat nav is still telling me in 340 yards, continue going ahead. So I'm going to come to a roundabout. Now the roundabout that I'm going to come to is a very small, fast moving roundabout.
After 200 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit, Spen Lane.
So that's the roundabout I can see now. So I'm looking and seeing what's going on. Now I can see to the left perfectly. They have to give way to me. I have to give way to anybody on my right that are coming and turning. So you can signal right here. I normally do. So I'm looking, there's nobody coming, no big deal. Look in my right door, but I make sure nobody's overtaking me. And I cancel my signal. It just makes life so much easier for everyone to understand what we're doing at this particular roundabout. I don't do it at the other one. I do it at this one. Because when I approach them at a slight angle, it just makes it clearer so everybody understands where I'm going. The speed limit now on this hill is 30. Now what I'm going to do, usually an examiner will ask you to park up on the left. Can you see that white car on the left hand side? He's going to ask you to park somewhere on the left here. So I'm going to go past this junction. I can see the 3 cars behind me. I'm going to park after the second bin. So check my mirrors.
After 300
third
yards,
bin, sorry. Check my
cross
mirrors,
the roundabout
signal left,
and take the first exit, Spen Lane.
and I'm going to come to a gentle stop here. I can see a taximan going around me. Come to a gentle stop. I'm reasonably close to the curb. Okay, and I'm going to move off in a couple of seconds. So cancel my signal. Going to let everybody go. Now I'm going to check my mirrors. I'm looking around. Can't see any issues. Looking at my blind spot. I've signaled move off. I'm looking past a white car. The cars are very far in the distance. I'm going to go over the line to make sure I've got at least a meter. Check my mirrors. Come back to my side. I don't need to signal to come back. The reason why I don't need to signal, it's not a moving vehicle. So now at the roundabout, it's telling me I need to go ahead. Now over here, most people from your right will go up that road.
And take the first
very rare they
exit,
turn left.
Spen Lane.
So very rare they come down this road. The most of them go up, and it's a bus route. It's a very busy bus route. So be wary and be careful. So I'm looking at the bus. I need to give way to the bus. And the white car and the silver car. Now if that white car that's coming down the road moves, he would block these cars. So like he would be blocking them now. And that's fine. So now I'm looking at my sat nav again. I'm going to go ahead. Now this bus will turn left into this road. It looks like it's got an obstruction with the workmen working there, so it slows things down. So you need to see these. You need to see how it affects you as a driver and how you're going to affect the car behind you, and how that's going to affect you in terms of driving. So it's not just a case of just flying
After
up the road
200
and knowing what you're doing.
Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit, Butcher Hill.
So now I'm going to turn left onto this roundabout here. It's the first exit. Again, it's a very busy roundabout. So I'm checking my mirrors here. I'm going to signal left. I'm looking at the row of cars and see if any of them are deviating or signalling. Now I can see the red car here. For the sake of argument, I'll just stop. And I'm watching the yellow car. I'm going to wait for the yellow car. I'm looking at the black car and it looks like he's going ahead. I don't know where the silver car's going. I'm assuming, yep, he's going to go ahead. Now the crossing is clear and this person's off for some food. That's fine. And the reason why they took a wide turn is they tried travelling along a very narrow path and they couldn't. Now we have a guest, we have a cyclist behind us. Now the speed limit now is going to go into a 20. Because it's going to go into a 20 very soon, that cyclist is going to very comfortably be able to keep his pace with me. It's something I need to be aware of. And then we've got the e-scooters here as well. And that's why you need to have your wits about you. So speed limit here is 20. I'm travelling at a reasonable speed. Now it's telling me I'm going to turn right soon at a roundabout. And that's at the bottom of this road. So I'm looking, it looks good. Don't see an issue at the moment. My speed is 19. I'm looking past the blue sign in front of us. You can see it there. So I'm checking my mirrors here. There's nobody coming up the road. Looking my right door mirror again. Looking to again. Looking at my blind spot if I need to. Then looking my left door mirror. Left blind spot if I need to. Move back onto my side of the road. Speed limit is going to go into 30. But it goes into 30 here. So increase your speed from here. Watch out for a bus coming down the road over here. Especially around this corner. If you see the bus, reduce your speed and stop if you need to. It's a very small, compact area. You can't fly down this road, it's not appropriate. So while I'm going round, I'm going reasonably
After
well.
200
I'm doing 27.
yards, cross the roundabout
Just slow
and
down a
take
little
the
bit because
second
I can't
exit,
see.
low lane.
So I can't see the bus yet and I can see over the roundabout. Now there are new houses that they've built here into these block of into this used mill.
Cross the roundabout
So check my
and
mirrors.
take the second
I
exit.
signal right and just watch out for anyone coming out of this mill. And I'm looking, that car's quite far. People on my left need to give me way. And I cancel my signal and carry on. Now, at the next roundabout, I need to go ahead. I've already read it.
Cross the roundabout
So I'm
and
going to
take
keep
the
my car
second
to the left.
exit,
I need to give
low
way to
lane.
the black car if he's turning to my left. And he's not. I'm watching the other line of car and he's not going anywhere as well. So now at
Go
the
left on the roundabout
I'm going to take my
and take
first
the first
exit left. So check my mirrors,
exit,
signal left,
A6120,
and there's
Broadway.
another cyclist I need to watch out. I'm motorcyclist. It looks safe. I'll keep my left signal on and continue following this road up. Now I'm looking at my sat nav and it's telling me I'm going to be turning right at some point. The speed limit here is 40. It's the ring road that I'm on now. So I'm back on the same ring road again. So I'm doing 39 and it's telling me I'm going to take, I think it's my second right here. So it's not the difficult one, it's the
After
easy
300 yards, turn right,
So it's not this right,
Alexandra Road.
it's the one after. This one's the hard one. So it's the next right. So I'm looking at the floor, I'm doing 35, I'm trying to establish where I need to go. I'm looking at the hatch marking, looking at cyclists, and it's not this one here, it's the second. So check my mirrors, signal right,
Turn
nobody
right.
there. I come in here slowly, straighten my car in this box, make sure I'm not poking out, and I'm not. I'm looking up into the road, I'm looking past the white transit van that's parked on the left at the top of the road after the peppermint coloured car. Now the speed limit here is 20. Excuse me. So let's say for the sake of argument.
After 200 yards, bear right, King George Road.
So let's say for the sake of argument, you couldn't park your car straight inside that box. Depending on the situation, you would possibly fail your test. Why? Because it's narrow, it's a protected area for you, and if I'm a lorry coming up the road, you're going to block me. So it's very important that you think about where you stop, how you stop, and you plan accordingly. The reason why I've stopped to kind of explain that to you, it's very important that you look up into the road. When I was travelling into this road, I looked past this green van now, but I assumed it was peppermint at the time. I was looking at the top of this road. It's something that you're expected to be doing. So I'm going to move off now. You'll be doing about 3 stops, 3 to 4 normal stops. So you park up on the left and you move off. Park up on the left, move off. The parking on the right, reverse 2 spaces, was a maneuver that I did. So I'm going to move off in a second. So I'm looking around. No big deal. Signal right. I can see the baker loading his van up. I'm looking at my sat nav, and my sat nav is telling me at the end of this road I'll be turning right and then going ahead. King George Road.
After 70 yards, bear right.
So the speed, I was looking at these 2 vans as I was coming into this road. So I look in my left arm, I'm going to come back to my side of the road, and I'm planning what I'm doing. So I'm not getting to the end and thinking I already know exactly what I need to do here. So I'm looking, I've moved forward in my seat. There's a bus coming, so it's going to be pretty stupid if I go into the middle of the road. So I'm going to wait here. Now that bus will stop over there at the bus stop. That's where he normally goes. I'm looking to my left. I can see a car that's looking at me. I can see a silver car there. So I'm moving out, and now I'm going to signal right. I'm going to turn right here. I'm looking in my mirror. There's nothing going on. And I'm gently going to carry on. Speed limit here is 20 now. So what I'm doing, I'm looking at the Audi, the silver Audi on the left. I'm looking at the Passat parked on the left, the Fiesta, the silver car. I'm looking in my right door mirror. I'm moving a bit more to the right here. I can see the Mercedes white van. I'm watching the Morrison's van. I bet he's not looking at me. Yeah, he's seeing me now. And that's why I slowed down. I'm only doing 15, but that's why I'm doing 15. So I'm looking at the blue car on the left. I'm going to check my right door mirror. I'm going to move a bit more to the right so I can see past this Fiesta, this brown coloured car. So I'm looking down the road, and I can see the car with the left indicator on. I'm doing 19 miles an hour. Now if anyone comes, you slide into this space, keep your car half in and half out, so you hold that position. Otherwise you gently carry on. You're looking at the junction, make sure nobody's trying to come out. If
At
they
the
are,
end of the
you
road,
may even need to stop.
turn right, low lane.
So now I'm looking at the car, looking at my left door mirror. I'm going to move back to my side of the road. I can see a reflection, it's a man. So I'm looking at the reflection in his door, and that tells me if there's anyone coming down or up the road. I'm going to slow down a little here because I can't see. Just checking my mirrors. I know there's a car behind me.
Turn right.
I can see that silver car coming. I'll signal right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going because there's nothing else I can do. But I slow down to kind of get my sort of bearings and let them get their bearings. So now I'm at the end of the road. I'm looking past the bus stop on the right. You'll see as I start turning. So I'm going to let this white car go. Then you'll see a bus stop with a merging. I'm looking right up there. So I'm watching this Mercedes, but you'll see a Mini coming out any second now. I was looking at the Mini as I was coming out this road. There, that Mini there. So I'm looking in my right door, but I'm going to move away now. This car's sticking out a little, so I'm going to slow down. He's parked properly. Everyone else is parked on the pavement. So I'm looking in my right door mirror. I'm going to move a little to right. Now, I was looking at this Mini when I was at that junction. The reason I was doing that, because if I'm prepared earlier, I can see what I'm doing. So I'm looking in my mirror. It's all good. I'm going to increase my speed slightly. I'm doing 28 miles an hour. It's safe to do so. Now, I'll be back at the test centre very, very soon. So now what I'm doing is, because it's telling me in 310 yards, which is about 300 metres. So it's all the same, you know, yards and metres are very, very similar.
After 200 yards, you have reached your destination.
For the sake of argument, a yard, just call it 100 centimetres. And it's just have some sort of perspective. So now I'm watching him because there's a shop over here. Where this blue car is, I'm going to park in front of the blue car before the black car.
You have reached your destination.
I'm going to check my mirrors, signal left, bring my car in, slow it down, touching my brakes slightly, so people behind me know that I'm slowing down. And I'll come to a gentle stop here. And that, my friends, was a complete test route.